How does God speak? I want you to pay attention to this teaching because this teaching will help you to understand how God communicates to us and how you can hear the voice of God and receive prophetic message from God. So, how does God speak? I want you to understand that God rarely speaks in an audible voice. Yes, a lot of persons are waiting to hear the audible voice of God as human being is speaking to them. Yes, God does speak like that, but God rarely speaks in an audible voice. If we want to hear the voice of God, we must pay attention to the Holy Spirit within us. God often speaks to us or communicates to us through the voice of the Holy Spirit that is within us. When we pay attention to the voice of the Holy Spirit that is within us, God will speak to us through our heart or mind. When God wants to communicate to people, He don't just speak audibly like that. He go through the Holy Spirit communicating to them through their hearts. When our hearts and mind is right before God, we will hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. You know, the essence we are not hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit is that our heart or mind is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. Many persons are quenching the Holy Spirit. After they have quenched the Holy Spirit, they are expecting to hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. How can you hear the voice of the Holy Spirit when your heart is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit? That is the essence. We have several persons who doubt the voice of God than receiving the voice of God because their heart is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit speaks to everyone, but most times they don't know that the Holy Spirit is the one communicating to them because their heart is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit, whereby they are now waiting to hear the audible voice of God, and God rarely speaks in an audible voice. God speaks to us through the Holy Spirit in the theater of our hearts or mind. If your mind and heart are in alignment with the Holy Spirit, you won't struggle to hear the voice of God or know that God is the one communicating to you. When our heart is fixed towards something else, or when our mind is projected towards something else, like where our heart is always looking upon something else aside from the things the Holy Spirit is communicating to us. When the Holy Spirit is not communicating to us, we will start doubting what the Holy Spirit is telling us because our heart is not fixed in alignment or is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. That is the essence. Many people or many believers struggle to hear the voice of God. If you never believe that God speaks to people, you will always struggle to hear the voice of God. If you never believe that God can speak to you, you will always struggle to hear the voice of God. When you are in alignment with the Holy Spirit and your heart, your theater heart is fixed towards the Holy Spirit, you will always hear the voice of the Holy Spirit because God speaks to us through the voice of the Holy Spirit in our heart or mind. The voice of the Holy Spirit is different from other voices. When the Holy Spirit comes and speaks to you, you will affirm that God is the one communicating to you. As far as your heart is in alignment with the Holy Spirit, you will see the difference of every other voice, your own heart's voice, and every other voice that is communicating to you. The voice of the Holy Spirit is distinct from every other voice. Voice comes through peace, it comes through God's assurance, it comes through counseling, it comes through comforting. But many people think that they are the one conceiving it because the theater of their heart is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. And when the Holy Spirit is not communicating to them, they tend, maybe they are the one conceiving it. If you build a good relationship with the Holy Spirit, you will never struggle to hear the voice of God. Hearing the voice of God, it requires us to build a good relationship with the Holy Spirit. Not having a good relationship with the Holy Spirit will give you a gap for you not to hear the voice of God, because the voice of God comes through the voice of the Holy Spirit, which is the presence of God. And if we are far away from the Holy Spirit, we can't hear the voice of God. Now you have understand how God speaks to us. I want you to practice, put this into practice, and you will see that the Lord will speak to you through the voice of the Holy Spirit. If you are blessed by this video, please like this video and follow this page if you want more video like this. God bless you, and see you on my next teaching.